What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, the Ol Drunken Geek again, and today I want to talk about Voltron, Legendary Defender. It is a Netflix show that came out a couple years ago. I don't even know how many years ago. It's on like its 7th or 8th season now. Why am I talking about this show just now? Well, because I just binged the last season that came out, and that shit was dope. That shit was probably the best season so far. But I wanted to talk about the show as a whole because when I started watching this, I was like, oh, Voltron. It had some brand recognition. When I was a kid, I grew up on all those 80s cartoons. You know, He-Man, Thundercats, Transformers, and Voltron was one of them. Voltron was one of the Japanese anime ones that I grew up on. Now, I grew up in Peru as well, so I did watch like a lot more anime. You know, we had like a combination anime from Japan and, you know, American cartoons dubbed in Spanish both. And, you know, I do remember Voltron some, you know. I don't have, like, a great memory of the plot and what happened and exactly details. You know, I was a kid, so it was like, yeah, fucking robots fighting monsters. But this show on fucking Netflix has become its own monster. No pun intended. It started to what seemed like to be targeted really for, like, little kids. Like a really little kids show. And I started watching it for the, you know, I would get stoned and watch it just for the colors and stuff. But apparently the demographic has changed because like apparently a lot of people like me, my age, recognized the name Voltron and started watching it. And I'm sure a lot of little kids also saw bright colors and lions and started watching it as well. And by the way, if you guys haven't watched Voltron, it's basically like Transformers in a way. Except instead of being like 5 animals of different races, there are 5 lions of different colors. And they form, you know, there are 5 robot lions, and they form Voltron, which is like a robot, a giant mech suit robot. 5 people pilot these lions. They're called Paladins. They're kind of like the Power Rangers. They have their own colors and stuff like that. And in the beginning, they have to fight this guy called Sarkon, who's, you know, like the king of this empire that's taken over the universe. So the Lions of Voltron were made by a race called the Alteans, who the Galran Empire actually destroyed all of them. Except for the princess, who her name is Alora, and her butler slash like assistant slash Alfred of the Voltron Force. Her name is Coran. So that's more or less, you know, the overview of it. They have to take, you know, they have to take down Zarkon. Basically, what's happening. Like I was saying, man, this shit took a turn, and it feels like it's been more geared toward adults. Kids can still watch it. It's not like super gory. They don't drop any fucks or shits in it or anything like that. And it still does have a lot of kiddie-ish episodes, which at times make it a bit hard to get through. But if you're a guy like me, you enjoy a nice drink. Well, this is an energy drink, but you know what I mean. And a drink, and a little bit of the wacky tobacco. This is a very enjoyable show, man, and I love it. And it's just gotten better and better every season. Things that happen in regular cartoons when I was growing up, the things that you're like, okay, as a grown up, you're like, oh, that's what's gonna happen. A lot of time, this show kind of subverts your expectations. Something opposite happens. They don't fight monsters, for example, every fucking episode. Sometimes they have to build up to the monster, and then they have that one big fight, which makes it a lot more valuable for the characters. And speaking of which, man, they took their time to develop all the characters. All the Paladins of Voltron have, you know, their quirks and their things about them that you learn, but it's kind of a slow burn. You start learning things about them slowly until you're like, dude, like they're one, you know, they're part of the family. Like I know these guys, you know what I mean? Especially after a couple years. And this show really snuck up on me because it was like, oh, it was a show. Okay, Voltron, boom, start watching. Cool. All right. You know, I watched one. Season 2 was come out. You know, had come out. It was actually I put it on my list to watch. And I neglected it for a while. And then season 2 came out. I was like, okay, I'll start watching it. Binged it. Okay, cool. That got cool. And season 3 came out, and maybe like a month later, I watched it. And then that's how it's been. It's been like, okay, but I know that the season came out, and that pretty soon I'm gonna have some free time and get stoned as fuck and fucking binge all of the season of Voltron, which has gotten really dope. This last season specifically, they've introduced a lot of new ideas. They've moved the whole setting of the show to somewhere new. I'm not gonna spoil where, but yeah, man, it's gotten a lot better. Introduced more characters. I'm wondering what's gonna happen next season. It's left me on the edge of my seat. And actually, some seasons are shorter than others, so at times they've released like 6-episode seasons, and I've been like, okay, fucking binge it automatically. At times it's been like 12 episodes. I'm like, fuck it, I'll wait till I have time. But as far as the sci-fi's not that solid. It's pseudoscience leaning toward the mystical, but it's basically magic. I mean, you can't say that this shit is actual science. Like, things don't make sense as far as like science is concerned. But neither does Star Wars. I've always felt like Star Wars is more of a fantasy than a sci-fi. And this show is a lot like that. They do have a lot of, obviously it's in space and it's got robots, so a lot of sci-fi tropes, but it's got a lot of left turns that you wouldn't expect in this show. And man, I suggest it highly. I would say get through, binge 1 and 2, seasons 1 and 2 together, because by the end of season 2 is where you really get the feel for it. And I feel like they really get their legs by the end of season 2. And then after that, it should do its own work, man. I mean, like I said, use a little aid, a little wacky tobacco to help you through them, especially the wackier episodes that are more geared for kids. And but when the series episodes hits, you'll be glad you did. That's my little review of Voltron, man. Just a super cool show. I enjoy on Netflix, and yeah, man, that's all I got for today. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and drop a like, drop a comment if you got something to say. Check us out on Instagram, dropping loads, Ol Drunken Geek, not old with a D, without the D, old motherfucker, Ol Drunken Geek on Instagram, and yeah, man, ODG out.